Today, we're diving into a crime that is just truly bizarre. It's a case of incredible deception where a woman tried to cheat death itself by literally stealing someone else's life. It sounds impossible, right? But that's the central question of this whole story. It's a paradox that completely baffled German investigators and ended up unraveling this disturbing plot that was all woven together through social media, intense cultural pressure, and some serious psychological manipulation. Okay, so it all kicks off on this quiet residential street. Police get a call and discover a really brutal crime scene. There's a woman who's been stabbed over 50 times, her face so badly damaged you can barely recognize her, and she's been left in the back seat of a luxury car. Well, it turns out the car belongs to a 23-year-old named Sherry. When her frantic parents find the vehicle, they look through the windows, and their worst fears are confirmed. They are absolutely convinced the body in that back seat is their daughter. And right away, a suspect emerges. Right there at the scene, Sherry's father points the finger directly at her ex-husband, Rowan. It seems like the whole town agrees with him, and the police, well, they quickly bring him in for questioning. So for 4.5 long hours, Rowan is in this stark interrogation room telling the police all about his and Sherry's violent and really chaotic history. He is, without a doubt, the prime suspect. But then, an update comes in that changes everything. An officer walks into the room with a simple, completely impossible message for Rowan. Sherry is alive. She was just spotted on a CCTV camera. So, if Sherry is alive, then who on earth was the woman in her car? Just like that, this one bombshell revelation turns us from a murder case into something way, way stranger. This is the story of the hunt for a lookalike. So how in the world did Sherry orchestrate all this?
Well, the hunt was chillingly modern and really methodical. Sherry used social media as her personal hunting ground. She created all these fake profiles to message dozens of women who just vaguely looked like her. I mean, she didn't need a perfect twin, just someone who could pass for her after being, well, disfigured. The one who tragically took the bait was a 23-year-old beauty blogger named Khadijah.
And Sherry's manipulation was just relentless. First, she tried to lure Khadijah with a fake music video. But Khadijah was smart. She actually checked with the artist and found out it was a scam. But Sherry was so persistent. She just created a new fake profile and a brand new offer, a free, high-end cosmetic treatment. And this time, unfortunately, the lure worked. Okay, so we've seen how she did it, but the far more disturbing question is why? What could possibly motivate someone to commit a crime like this? To understand that, we really need to look at the life Sherry was so desperate to escape. And this is where you really start to see the huge conflict in Sherry's life. On the surface, she was projecting this image of freedom and rebellion. The flashy car, the parties, a lifestyle that some people called a gas station groupie. But underneath all that was the dark reality of feeling completely and totally trapped by her strict family and her past. That feeling of being trapped was made so much worse by her cultural background. As part of the Yazidi community in Germany, Sherry was caught in this tug of war between her parents' very traditional, strict expectations and her own desire for a modern German life. And after her divorce, this control became extreme. Her father allegedly tracked her car and gave her a 20-minute curfew. She was absolutely desperate for a way out. But here's the thing. Sherry wasn't just a victim of her circumstances. Court documents showed this really disturbing pattern of impulsive and extreme violence. This wasn't just about escaping. Her personality was volatile, manipulative, and dangerous long before this whole plot was ever hatched. So in the courtroom, all these threads, the faked death, the motive to escape, her violent history, they were all woven together during one of the longest criminal trials Germany has seen in recent years. The prosecution laid out their case, and they called it the doppelganger theory. They argued this was a cold, calculated plan. Sherry needed a body so her family would believe she was dead and finally stop looking for her. That way, she'd finally get the freedom she craved. But the defense, they had a pretty powerful counter-argument, and it all hinged on Sherry's mental capacity. A psychiatric evaluation revealed her IQ was 86, which is just above the line for a learning disability in Germany. So their argument was simple. Was she really smart enough to mastermind such an intricate, complex crime? And then you have the accomplice, Shakir. His motive is one of the biggest mysteries in this whole case. Was it love? Was it money? I mean, he barely even knew Sherry. This quote, which he reportedly said to a friend, suggests he felt used. but he stayed completely silent through the entire trial. Sherry, though, she didn't stay silent. She gets on the stand and tells this absolutely wild story, painting herself as this terrified victim. She claims Shakir was the one who did everything, that he forced her to drive and help him by threatening to murder her entire family. It was a pretty clear attempt to shift all the blame. So even though they got a conviction, the trial left everyone feeling, well, uneasy. The prosecution's nice, clean doppelganger theory started to fall apart, leaving this central riddle. What was the true motive? And here it is. This is the biggest flaw in the prosecution's entire theory. If you go through all the trouble of orchestrating a brutal murder to fake your own death so you can start a new life, why would you stick around to get caught? Seriously, she made zero effort to disappear. When the police found her, she was just driving around town, visiting friends at the gas station. Her behavior after the crime completely contradicts the idea that this was some carefully planned escape. And this just blows the doors open to a bunch of other possibilities. Was the real plan to frame her ex-husband Rowan for murder? Or maybe it was a crime of jealousy, targeting Khadijah specifically because of some local rapper. Or maybe there was no grand plan at all, just an impulsive, chaotic act driven by a deeply disturbed personality. In the end, whatever the true motive really was, the court found the evidence to be overwhelming. Both Sherry and Shakir were found guilty of murder. And so we're left with this chilling puzzle. This case is a really disturbing look at identity, reality, and sheer desperation. But was it all driven by a calculated plan to escape? A twisted plot for revenge? Or was it simply the chaotic impulse of a deeply disturbed mind? That's a psychological riddle that we may never fully solve.